Starting out as a single elimination tournament in 1985, I'm as old as the King of the Ring. It progressed to its own pay-per-view in 93 and took a bit of a hiatus, but now it's back and seemingly hoping annually. This is the history of King of the Ring. You got any fun King of the Ring memories?
Oh, man. Favorite King of the Ring memory has got to be Xavier Woods. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun. He deserved it.
Gosh. 2001 King of the Ring.
Oh, what a banger. Some might say the best King of the Ring.
Versus Shane McMahon in just a brutal match that I think they've done a watch back together that you can check out. And
that's awesome.
Kurt Angle broke his collarbone, I think, in the middle of the...
He was concussed.
Yeah, and they tried to...
Because that was his third match that night. They did the semis, the finals, and then he fought Shane McMahon.
That was one of those, like, wow, professional wrestling is crazy kind of matches. And you even hear Vince McMahon talking about how scared for his own son he was.
Which that dude shows no remorse, so that's telling you something right there.
But ultimately, I felt like King of the Ring was something that was a missed opportunity because for a long time it didn't really mean anything.
No.
You just became, it just felt like it didn't carry any weight the way that it kind of does now.
Wait till you hear its early history. It really didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So it comes from humble beginnings for sure. But the couple key years where it meant something, you got Stone Cold, you got King Booker, like Brock, like the couple of years that it meant something. But the rest of it, like, it just seems like throwaway years.
Yeah.
So let's get into the history of King of the Ring. Started out, like I said, as a tournament. It would just be one night at a house show.
Just one night.
One night, and if you got to see it, you got to see it.
The whole tournament would happen.
The whole shebang. Eight men.
Kind of like it like that.
I do too, but, televise it.
Yeah.
85 to 91 was once a year. No tournament in 1990 for some reason. They're just like, But 85, Don Morocco won it, beat the Iron Sheik in Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. 86 was Harley Race. He was one of the first early ones to use the King gimmick. King Harley after this. He defeated Pedro Morales in Foxborough, Massachusetts again. They did back-to-back years. Oldest winner at 43 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, Harley was 43 at the time, and still this gimmick rejuvenated him and was able to be a top heel for McMahon in the mid to late 80s. So it was cool. Macho Man Randy Savage won it in 87.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he wouldn't use the Macho King gimmick until 1989. So he won the tournament in 87, defeating King Kong Bundy in Rhode Island. But here's the kicker. That's where the Harley Race championship comes back around. See, King Harley kept the crown, used it as his gimmick. He got hurt in a table match with Hulk Hogan, went out. His manager, Bobby Heenan, then gave the crown to Haku. He was King Haku. King Haku lost that crown to a returning Harley Race, who then lost it to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who then lost it to one Macho King, Randy Savage.
Macho King.
So that started his Macho King heel gimmick in 89. Not from his own King of the Ring win, but from actually Harley Race's 86 win. So it's weird how 80s gimmicks work.
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase won it in 88. He just seems like someone that needs to be King of the Ring.
Yeah.
That feels fun. He defeated Randy Savage. Randy came back trying to, get his crown back.
I like how they used to have, like, defending.
There was a lot of people that won it, and then we're in the finals the next year. It's so fun that way, Tito Santana getting one of his rare opportunities here. He won it in 89, defeated Rick Martel. Bret Hart defeated IRS in 91. Last time it wasn't televised. All of those, 88, 89, 91, happened in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, so every year, same place.
Same place.
They didn't share the love.
They did not. They're like, this is a Rhode Island event.
I wonder why they chose Rhode Island to be where they crowned King of the Ring.
You'd figure they'd do it in, like, Connecticut, like their backyard or something, So in 1993, Vince McMahon wanted to expand the pay-per-view capacity of WWE. So he was like, every month we're doing something. So they launched King of the Ring as its own pay-per-view event in June. And at first it was considered one of the big five, with Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam. So they're like, this is a big one. We love this one. So they wanted to have a banger of one for 1993. They're like, we're making a big deal out of this. We need to hit it hard. So who's our guy in 93? Oh, yeah, he won it in 91. Let's make Bret Hart a double champion. Let's introduce this thing that no one's heard of outside of Providence, Rhode Island, and make a lot of noise about Bret Hart, 2-time King of the Ring winner. This is when he beat Bam Bam Bigelow in the finals. This was Lawler attacked him afterwards. That started their feud. This would go on to the Survivor Series match, and Lawler getting real mean about Bret Hart's family. Mm-hmm. So Bret wrestled an hour and 19 minutes in a 24-hour period while also traveling 600 miles.
Wow. Because
this is when King of the Ring was the whole tournament in one night. So he wrestled 3 times that night. And he had a 30-minute match with Backlund the night before at a house show. So Iron Man right here.
Yeah,
he does it. King of the Ring. He had a bum ankle too. Did the whole thing on a bum ankle. Bret Hart, man. I'll always be a Shawn guy, but damn it, I respect Bret Hart.
I mean, Bret Hart, I wish I had been really watching during his time, because it seemed like I would have loved him.
Yeah.
I would have loved his feuds. It seemed like he was one of the first guys that just was like the first Triple H.
Yeah.
Like, I am the game.
Like a Daniel Bryan.
I am the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
All these other guys are pretending. Like, I have a dungeon.
Execution.
Literally have a dungeon in my family.
Right. I survived the dungeon. Yeah. What are you going to do to me?
It's like, just has a whole different effect.
They kept it in the family the next year in Baltimore, Maryland, 1994. One of my favorite King of the Rings. It just has such nostalgia factor for me. Owen Hart defeated Razor Ramon. And this kicked off the King of Hearts gimmick.
Okay.
Because the next year he would win some Slammies, and so he'd carry his Slammies, and you have the King of the Heart. And this is when he really played that little brother, I'm tired of Bret Hart gimmick so well. So well. Because this was around that time that Bret Hart would win the championship, but Owen actually beat him first. I think that was that next WrestleMania coming up. So just what a fun time in wrestling for it. And of course you get Razor Ramon, so I'm not mad about that. 95, a little bit of a stinker. Didn't really know what they had here. King Mabel defeated Savio Vega. Viscera.
Big Vis.
Yeah. King Mabel at the time is what he was called. He was part of Men on a Mission tag team. They wanted to get him going on his own, so they made him King Mabel. Massive dude. Youngest King of the Ring. 24 years old at the time.
Okay.
Strapped a rocket to him, and it just did not work. This was in Philly. And then they're like, all right, we gave you King Mabel last year. So 96 was Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Jake the Snake. This is the infamous 316 promo that launched Stone Cold. Mm-hmm. So it's just crazy. Like, looking back at all this, the historical relevance of King of the Ring. You talked about 01, which we'll get to, or up top, like, a lot of stuff happened at King of the Ring. They tried to, strap a rocket to a lot of people, and it didn't take, but a lot of it did take, and one being 96, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. 97, Triple H defeated Mankind in Providence, Rhode Island. Going back to their roots.
They had some incredible matches.
They did, and I'm imagining this was great.
Yeah.
Because Triple H was supposed to win the year before. And this was the infamous curtain call situation.
Yep.
So he got punished. Nice to see he rebounded and won it the next year.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Next year, Ken Shamrock defeated The Rock in Pittsburgh. Good old Pittsburgh crowd.
Ken Shamrock and The Rock. I mean, The Rock inducted Ken Shamrock into the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Great feuds.
They have a history together.
I enjoyed it, man. This is around, like, what is this, like the corporation days, so you probably got some ministry stuff, Rock. Yeah, this is good. Mm-hmm. This is headed straight. This is prime Attitude Era.
Yep.
99 is when they wanted to push Billy Gunn. And this is when they broke up DX, so they just had them fighting each other. So Billy Gunn defeated X-Pac in North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina. This was Billy's single push. They loved just fighting DX. China was a participant in this King of the Ring, so good for her.
I remember that.
You know, just Road Dogg was in it. Like, they just put all the DX members, like, there you go. And Billy Gunn, out on his own. Poor guy didn't survive.
No.
Mr. Ass.
No. They tried to do the same thing with Hardcore Holly. Just it never worked.
You gotta have, like, Billy Gunn is a great wrestling persona.
Yeah.
With other people.
Yeah.
He's not the guy. It sucks. I love Billy Gunn. I don't want, I hate, it hurts me saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, Kurt Angle defeats Rikishi. Is this I did it for The Rock? Is it around that time? This was in Boston. So Kurt Angle won it in 2000. Tried to repeat in 01. Was in the semis with Christian. Got a concussion in the semifinals. His first match of the night, he got concussed. Then he went to the finals against Edge. Lost in the finals because of Shane McMahon. And then they got into the street fight.
Which was brutal.
Didn't he he tried to throw Shane twice through the glass, right?
Yeah.
Because it didn't shatter the first time. He dropped him right on his head.
Yep.
Oh, I've seen that over and over.
And Kurt Angle broke his tailbone. No, it wasn't his collarbone. It was his tailbone. Yeah, in the middle of the match.
I've bruised my tailbone.
Yeah.
I can't imagine breaking it. Good God, dude.
Yeah, unreal.
What up, King of the Ring? They're like, we're going full send.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, Brock Lesnar defeated Rob Van Dam in Columbus, Ohio. This marked the first time the winner got a title shot.
This was a good one. This was when I started watching.
Match. I've seen the match. I wasn't watching the product, but I've gone back and watched the match. And what a great match.
Yeah.
So unfortunately in 2002, it was also the brand split, and they went full on into that, dove into it, didn't really have time for King of the Ring. So it took a bit of a hiatus, and it came back in 2006 as a SmackDown exclusive.
This is when I kind of stopped watching.
Yeah. So it came back in 2006, and that was SmackDown exclusive. And the final took place on Judgment Day. That's when we get King Booker.
King Book
Defeated Bobby Lashley in the final.
And I hated that King Booker.
See, so
something about that just made me tune out because it was also part of the PG.
It worked in a bad way.
It was part of the PG era. So I don't know. It all just coincided where I was like, I loved Booker T from WCW.
Pop down.
And then what I was seeing was like, now he has this crown and a cape, and I was like, this is just not.
Yeah. It led to a championship win, though. So you gotta take the good with the bad.
True.
In 2008, inconsistencies, man. No 2007. Come back in 2008. Raw, ECW, and SmackDown. William Regal. Just listen to these words coming out of my mouth. William Regal defeated CM Punk.
How? There must have been a low blow involved. I don't know.
This might have been Regal's brass knuckle day.
This is young.
Well, his whole career.
This is young Punk too.
Yeah.
So
he took a couple L's.
Yeah.
But no, I just love saying that word.
I love that.
I need to go back and watch that match. No, of course. Why would they have back-to-back years? No King of the Ring and no 9.
No, you can't do it back-to-back years. No.
2010. This is the first time it's in November.
Okay.
No more ECW. It's gone. So it's Raw and SmackDown. Raw's Sheamus defeats John Morrison. So this is when we get King Sheamus for a little bit. This is when, if you won it, you just had to be the king for a little bit.
Yeah, I know. You just had to pretend to be a king. And they carried that into Xavier Woods and
Bad News Barrett was in 15. So they took a break. No King of the Ring from 2010 to 2015.
Wow.
The final was exclusively on the WWE Network that had just come out the year before. So you couldn't even watch this anywhere unless you had the network. Bad News Barrett defeated Neville. This is also when they didn't even have brand splits. They didn't even have the talent to have a brand split in 2015.
This is when they were just like reallocating properties that they owned for...
Yeah. So I just need everyone to remember this, okay? Let's have a little perspective when we think things are bad. It's not 2015 bad. Mm-hmm. Takes another break. 2019. This is when they did a Raw bracket and a SmackDown bracket. So you got Raw's best versus SmackDown's best. Raw's Baron Corbin, King Corbin, defeated SmackDown's Chad Gable.
Horrible.
Could have had King Gable. This is 19. Dude's getting screwed over in 19.
King Corbin was such a terrible gimmick, too. Again, this still just destroyed the legitimacy of the whole King of the Ring tournament, giving it to people like him.
2021, you say?
Baron Corbin.
King Xavier Woods.
And Xavier Woods. I didn't like the Xavier Woods choice.
This is when the final was at Crown Jewel. Xavier Woods defeated Finn Balor.
I didn't like it.
I didn't either. I wanted Finn Balor.
Yep. Just didn't make sense.
This is the year they started the Queen's Crown tournament. Not yet the Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
So, 2024, last year. I thought we had a great tournament.
Was the first year it felt like a big deal.
They had superstars. They had battles. Gunther.
Cool belts. Really cool belts.
Gunther really defeated Randy Orton.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big match that was like, oh, this means something. And the women's match was really great. Nia Jax won. So.
And it meant something for her. It gave her a nice little push.
Well, and I like it because when people are like, oh, what's SummerSlam going to be? What's the main event of SummerSlam? Again, we're back to this. I like how they've incorporated it as a tournament that does lead to getting a championship opportunity. I love when they have these tournaments because then we have purpose for our matches on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So the more of these types of things, the better. The more qualifying type matches, the more things folks are qualifying for, the better.
I wholeheartedly agree because isn't this competition at the heart of it?
And then we don't need these arbitrary, like, back in the day, folks would go for the title. How did you earn it? It didn't, now you need more of like, no, we have a process to earn stuff around here.
Yeah, and it makes sense when someone looks at someone's like, you hadn't earned it.
As opposed to one guy making all the decisions and one family making all the decisions. It's like, no, the product is now like, no, we're a real sports league.
It feels that way with the entrances, the behind the scenes more, like the tournaments turning into things.
Yeah.
I love it.
Me too.
Got some fun facts for you real quick.
Lay them on me.
King of the Ring theme song, used for forever, became Molly Holly's theme song in 2002.
Cool.
And it worked for her. It was a bit of a good luck charm because she won her first women's championship at King of the Ring 2002.
Nice. Good for her.
Right?
Love Molly Holly.
Yeah, dude. So underrated.
Love Molly Holly, yeah.
I wish her place would get, more talked about in history. WWE title changed hands in 93 at King of the Ring. This was the big Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Yokozuna, Vince McMahon crap.
Yeah, I remember that.
Vince promised Bret that he was getting a long run with Hulk Hogan into the summer of 93. Little did we know Hogan was jumping ship to WCW. So McMahon had Yoko beat Hogan for the belt. And a lot of people think Hogan disappeared after that. He actually did quite a few live appearances before he jumped ship. That was just his last TV thing. Mm-hmm. So what a 93, man. King of the Ring. And I remember that. I loved that one. I was devastated Yoko beat Hulk Hogan. And Bret didn't get his shot.
Yeah.
Booker T debuted at King of the Ring 2001.
Oh, very cool. That's huge.
So I'm just saying 2001 keeps getting better.
Yeah, 2001 is one of the great PLEs to go back and watch.
I think we can best King of the Ring of all time.
Yeah, hands down.
93 was pretty good too. Everyone hated the Yoko Hogan, but so here's a fun fact.
And I think last year's was good. 2004.
I thought 2004 was great.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. 1993 had a random. So in 1993, a lot of people didn't know it. I definitely didn't know it as a fan. But WWE signed a partnership with the USWA to change some talent, keep freshen things up a little bit. It was it signified the first time an indie worked with WWE again after Black Saturday. So in a dark match at the 1993 King of the Ring, you saw USWA champion Papa Shango retain over a very young Owen Hart.
Wow.
Macho Man would have a run with the belt. It was a fun, just little talent exchange between USW and WWE.
Wow.
So I thought that was fun. Yeah, that was my King of the Ring. Obviously, 94 is my favorite, just for nostalgia's sake. Loved 96. Again, I miss when the tournament was all in one night.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I like, because there's something cool about watching wrestlers wrestle multiple times and kind of playing into that, and just that, like, that tournament style, like, we're crowning a winner tonight. Like, there's something that feels, gives it a Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank vibe.
I'd even be okay if we could meet a compromise, like just have the semis and the finals. Mm-hmm. Have the semis right at the get-go, and then the finals later on in the night.
I agree.
I just think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yep, that's our history lesson of King of the Ring. Thank y'all for checking it out. Hit that subscribe button. We got so much more history lessons and just weekly roundups and special events coming your way. We'll see you next time.